In 2000, the House of Parliament in Ghana passed the law, more like a policy, which allows anyone of African descent to apply for and be granted the right to stay in Ghana indefinitely.
Breathe in the air, the light that surrounds me. If we hold ourselves together, we'll go far.
Hello everyone, here is Esiru from OAS Africa, and today we are talking about how to obtain citizenship in Ghana for non-Ghanaians. So if you are not a Ghanaian and you want to be a citizen of Ghana or obtain dual citizenship, this video is for you. So over the past 3 years, Ghana, through executive order, has given out over 150 citizenship to people of the African descent, or say the African diaspora. In 2016, our former president, that is President Mahama, gave 34 people from the African diaspora citizenship. And then just 2019, the current president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, gave 126 diasporas citizenship, which is the highest recorded in Ghana's history. But that is not what we are looking at today. Today, we want to answer the most asked question: how to obtain citizenship in Ghana easily as an African diasporan or as someone from the Caribbean. How to apply for citizenship in Ghana. It was the most asked question on my previous video, the why African Americans are moving to Ghana. If you've not watched it yet, I will include a link at the end of the video so you can check it out after this video. But that was the most asked question, so I thought, okay, I will go ahead and make a video on that for you guys. We have few means, about 4 means in Ghana to become a citizen, which is 1, by birth, 2, through marriage, right? It's kind of the easiest to get your citizenship, so to speak, because after your marriage, just like 6 months, you get your citizenship when you apply for it. All right, if you want to know the procedure, the qualification, and how you actually apply for this one, you let me know in the comments below if you want to see a video on that. And then 3, naturalization, 4, adoption. Now let's look at who qualifies for citizenship in Ghana. Citizenship Act 591, which was enacted in 2000, right? It says you can gain citizenship by descent. That is, if you have one of your parents or one of your grandparents to be Ghanaian, you can apply for citizenship and you will get it. All you need to do is to submit your birth certificate and the parents' birth certificate and their passport, and you'll be able to get your citizenship processed. But if you don't have a parent or grandparent who is a Ghanaian but still want to apply for citizenship, meaning you have to apply for a certificate of naturalization, there are about 12 qualifications required for you to apply, and we'll discuss about 5 of it because the others just eat into these 5 qualifications. So the first qualification is that you should have lived in Ghana for at least 5 years. And this 5 years is calculated this way. Let's say you live in Ghana, let's say from January to December, you are in Ghana for say 4 months. So you travel outside of Ghana in say April, right? And you come back in say in November. So the end of the year, which is December, meaning you've stayed like 6 months in the year in Ghana. You get what I mean? So when they are calculating for a year, like in this instance, you've stayed only 6 months in Ghana. So the 5 years is calculated this way. So it will be that you've been around in Ghana for say 10 years, but really the number of years you've stayed in Ghana might not be up to 5 years. You get what I mean? And the time that you'll be applying for the naturalization or citizenship, you should have been in Ghana for at least 12 months prior your application. Then the second thing, which is very important, is you should be of good behavior, and this must be attested to by 2 Ghanaians, right? One being a lawyer and then one being a public officer. The third thing is, for your whole period of being in Ghana, we should be able to prove that you've not been in prison before. All right, I think that is a given for any country. And then the fourth thing I will talk about is, at the time you'll be applying, you should be able to speak at least one local language. And I'm thinking, like, if you've stayed in Ghana for 5 years, obviously you would have learned something, right? I think the easiest to learn is Tree, because it's very popular. It's spoken like across Ghana, almost all regions. So it's kind of easy to communicate in and learn. That is my opinion though. But you can choose which language is easy for you to learn and just go with it. The last one I'll talk about is to have a business in Ghana, or to have worked in a company in Ghana, like you work for a company, so to speak, right? Your application becomes very easy. Okay, let me not say very easy, but it becomes smooth, right? If you have a business in Ghana, that you have a business you've been running for at least a year, that kind of proves that, hey, I'm here to stay. Two, if you don't have a business, at least you have shares, like substantial shares in a company in Ghana. It's 12 requirements, but I'm talking about these 5 because I think these 5 are strong, and the rest kind of feed into these 5. All right, so you just make sure you are meeting these requirements before you apply for the naturalization or for the citizenship. I will leave the link to the act below. It's just about 3 pages, so it's not something long to read. You can just go through it easy and very, very easy to understand. So I'll leave the link to the act so that you can check it out. Now you qualify to apply for naturalization. So let's look at the procedure, how you actually apply for your naturalization. So the first thing you do is you head over to Ministry of Interior's office, right? And you pick up your form. The application form is called Form 5, so you go there and you be like, you want to buy Form 5. The cost and requirement, if you are married to a Ghanaian and you're applying for it, the cost for you is different from a normal person applying. If I get to make the video on how to apply for citizenship if you are married to a Ghanaian, I will include all of that. But for now, we are focusing on a normal person applying and going through the normal process, right? Currently, it's 6,000 Ghana cedi for the application Form 5. So after you pick up your Form 5 at the Ministry of Interior, you fill it and submit it with an application letter stating that you are applying for naturalization to be a citizen of Ghana. And now you add your residence permit. This residence permit will be the normal residence permit or the indefinite residence permit, which is applied through the Right of Abode. And the last thing is, if you have a business in Ghana, you include your certificate of commencement, your audit account document, and then your SNIT documents. You submit that. Also, you add a copy of your passport, your current passport, and then the last thing is you add 4 passport size pictures to the Form 5 and you submit it for processing. So when all this is done, this takes about 6 to 12 months to be completed. So when it's done, you'll be called and you now go for your naturalization certificate. So after getting your certificate, you can now proceed to apply for dual citizenship. When you fulfilled all these requirements, you can now go to the Ministry of Interior, pick up your application form and go through the process. They have the whole process on their websites. I will link their websites below so that you'll be able to check it out. All right, I'll briefly touch on how to apply for dual citizenship, but before then, let's talk about the Right of Abode. Like, people are saying, is it really a thing? Like, is it there? Is it effective? Like, what it is and all that. Okay, so in 2000, the House of Parliament in Ghana passed the law, more like a policy, which allows anyone of African descent to apply for and be granted the right to stay in Ghana indefinitely Also, when you are in Ghana and you apply for residence permit with the right of abode, what you get is the indefinite residence permit. You apply for it, you first get 1 year, and after the 1 year you renew it, and they'll give you 3 years. After that you get 5 years, so that after the 5 years, if you want to get citizenship or naturalization, you just apply for it. You can actually get a passport through this policy. I know a lady from UK has got this passport. She's also a YouTuber, right? So I will link her video where she talks about getting this passport below. Aside that, what the right of abode allows you to do is you can stay in Ghana, do a lot of things just like a citizen, except you can't vote. I'll say this, right? Trust me, if you are a person of African descent, African diaspora, Caribbean, you don't need the right of abode or citizenship to stay in Ghana. Trust me, you don't. Personally, I know people like the African diaspora who are now living in Ghana, and they don't have right of abode, they don't have citizenship, and they live comfortably. They live, like I tell you, they live comfortably. They have businesses, they have their children enrolled in schools, they have properties to their names, and they don't have right of abode or citizenship. Don't beat yourself up on citizenship or right of abode. Just come, travel first to visit and explore the country and know how you fit in. And if you want to finally move here, build businesses, like build your life here, that is a possibility for you, okay? But again, you just make sure your visa and residence permits are intact. Ghana is the most welcoming country for people of African descent. Let's say you're a citizen in UK and you get citizenship in Ghana, that is well. The first thing is to pick up your dual citizenship Form 10 application from the Ministry of Interior, and it's at it keeps changing, so I don't want to call any price. When you pick up the form, you fill it and then you submit the form with a copy of your Ghanaian passport if you have it, and your foreign passport, 4 passport size pictures, but you will need just 2 passport size pictures if you're applying for children. And lastly, you pay a processing fee, which is actually paid when the whole process is done, right? And you go through the application process and you actually pass, right? If you apply for this and you don't meet the requirements in any case, because after the application it takes about 6 to 12 months for it to be ready, but when it's ready you get your dual citizenship certificate and dual citizenship card. The card is what you normally travel with, right? So after the whole application process and you don't pass, they will return your application document to you and tell you the reason why you didn't. Because after the application they have to kind of double check the information given, your country's regulation comes to play and all that. And one thing you have to notice before you apply for dual citizenship, you just have to answer a few questions to yourself. Do you really need it? One, because what is happening is when you apply for the dual citizenship, you lose some rights to the country you are coming from. That is one. And then 2, some countries don't even allow dual citizenship, so you actually lose your citizenship to your previous country entirely. So you have to consider a few things and the regulations by the country you are coming from. You understand? The government is pushing for Beyond the Return campaign, which kind of ease entry into the country for people of African descent. So kind of making it easy for you to open businesses here in Ghana, for you to stay here in Ghana. So in subsequent years, requirements or the qualifications for anyone to operate in Ghana, to live in Ghana, or even to become a citizen of Ghana will kind of be loosened a little, so to speak. All right, so everyone is welcome to Ghana. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. If you've not subscribed already, do subscribe to your girl and like this video if you really enjoyed it. But until next time, bye. I'll be including all the necessary links and then contacts in the description, so do check it out.